So yesterday, I spoke about the karma philosophy and the whole ascent and descent of Bharat, and how our own actions have brought us to this point now, where it is the what we call, as in Hindi they call it Ghor Kalyug, the extreme depths of hell. That is only now, because there would be pain and suffering and sorrow in all directions, and nothing is sustainable now. If there is happiness, it will be for some time. Anything too much, anything you go into ati means extremity, there is sorrow. Like there is too much love, there will be sorrow. Too much of giving nature also, sorrow. Everything has to be in balance in Kalyug. And now we're in the end of Kalyug now, in the confluence age, where we understand and learn how to be able to be balanced, so that we know the best of everything, we know the worst of everything, and the contrast of what are vices and what are virtues, and then we make the choice of what kind of thoughts, words, and actions we need to pick up. So when it comes to the world, they say in the scriptures that there is a tree that is inverted. That if you were to go in front of the tree and put across your desires, it will be fulfilled. Now, if such a tree would really exist, if it really exists, then I don't think so we would have desires left at all, because every desire it is getting fulfilled. So what is the need for any desires at all? You won't have any desires. Such a tree does not really exist. In a practical sense, it doesn't really exist, because this tree is a symbolic tree which represents the whole humanity. That is, if you understand this whole unlimited, the tree of humanity, all the desires are fulfilled automatically. That's what it means. It's not like literally there is a tree somewhere inverted and hanging somewhere. You can compare this to a family tree, like how in a family you have grandfather, grandmother, and then children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, and so on and so forth, and it spreads across, right? It starts from this one couple, and then it expands on. So when somebody draws a family tree, you see, it's extending, this person, this branch, and in this branch this is one son, his wife, his children, his grandchildren. So it expands. So this would be called as the human family tree. It's all the souls are in this tree. And God is the parent. He's the mother and he's the father. So he being the parent, he is the seed for this tree. He's considered the seed of this tree because the whole knowledge about the seed is within him. Like how normally a tree grows from a seed. So that is physically it grows. But this is the spiritual understanding that the tree does not literally grow from him, but the understanding and the knowledge of the whole tree is within him. That is why God's other name is Vrikshapati, they say. Vrikshapati means he is the Lord of the tree. What tree? The tree of humanity. And we do understand that God is above. He's not anywhere here. He's up there. And that is why they show the tree inverted, because he's up there. And from him emerges the whole expansion of this humanity, all the different branches, and so many different souls, their experiences, their life, everything. It's all expanded. So we will be discussing this particular tree with you all today. So I'll show you the picture, and we'll start from there. Thank you. There you are. ఏంటి? There's only half is shown. ठीक है, बाद में दिखाएंगे. Okay, here we are. Now if you see here, I'll be pointing out. You can just leave it, Udita. Oh, you put something else on behind. Yeah, here. Okay, now fine. See, here is the tree. We're just showing the down part of the tree. So if you see here, the seed is right here. That is God. He's there. And what is closest to the seed are the roots. Right? You can see the roots. And these roots are what we call as the confluence age that we discussed on since 2 days. It is a confluence age. So this is the age where you take all the strength from God directly, because it is the closest to time. And you build your whole cycle of this whole tree. Yeah. So whatever you do here determines your whole cycle, whole journey from golden, silver, copper, iron. So whatever the tree gets is a nutrition from these roots. So we are sitting at the roots now. They say the greatest tapasya took place in the roots of the tree. So it is not the physical tree, but this spiritual tree. So that is the confluence age. So when we build our strength, we are prepared for the whole journey. So if you see here, what emerges from the seed, you see everyone sitting here in tapasya, all are meditating, connecting to God. So this is the confluence age, like we are all sitting here. And then emerges the two parts of the trunk, that is a golden age and the silver age. You can see the symbols here, golden and silver. So this is the period which the soul is Sato Pradhan, Sato Guni. So it goes to these phases. But if you notice, both the periods, if you see, are united. It's a part of the trunk. There are no divisions, there are no branches here. There is one language, one religion, one kingdom, one direction. So they all live with that unity here, total unity. There's no diversions, there are no different opinions, different thoughts, different feelings. Now, when it comes to religion, if you see here, that what is really a religion? They say dharma. In Hindi, they say dharma. In many languages, it is called dharma. Now, they say dharma means what you apply in your life. In Telugu, sometimes the people are very irresponsible and they don't care for their wife and children or their responsibilities at home. And, they while away their life and being careless. So people, when they advise them, they usually tell them, in Telugu, they say, "Ni kanisa dharmam," they say. "Ni kanisa dharmam me pilla papalu chuskoవాలి." This is what they say. You need to, it's a basic religion for you to take care of your children. That's what they say. So here they are they're using the word religion to talk about responsibility. That is what you need to live by and what you need to take care of. So religion is something that you apply in life. Like, for example, what is the religion of a dog? It is naturally loyalty, faithfulness. So what is the religion of the soul? That is peace. Peace is the religion of the soul. So like that, if you see, everything has its religion. So here in the golden and the silver ages, in these two periods, if you see, both the periods, they have what you call as a deity religion. It is also considered to be the original eternal deity religion. In this religion, this is the way of life, that is all divine qualities they have. Because they possess these divine qualities, they are called deities. And their religion is deity religion. So they're not following certain sect or rituals or something like that. So they call that a religion. No. This is a way of life. The way they live, what they apply, what they practically bring into their life makes them the deity. Makes that a religion of the deities. Hmm? So that is the religion that they followed there. There's a sentence in Hindi, Dharata Pariyo Dharamana Chodyo. I may leave the body, but I will not leave my religion. Means here they're talking about principles. It is not like I will die, but I will not leave Hinduism. I will not leave Islam. That's not what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that anything would happen, even if I have to leave my body, but there are certain values and principles that I live by in my life. I'm not going to leave them. So real meaning of religion is what you apply in your life. Right? So this is the highest code of conduct. This is the highest way of living that the deities lived for half a cycle, 2,500 years. Then we move to, now here I can show you. Now, see, this is comfortable for me. So now if you see here, once they come into the copper period, this is the copper period. This is the silver, this is the copper, this is the iron. Now, once they move into the copper period, I already mentioned to you yesterday what was happening, bhakti, and then, making every deity into God, and then human beings into God, and worshipping and seeking, and all that is going on. This starts from here, right? So when it starts from here, when they start worshipping God in a very unadulterated way, that is in a very, it's the kind of bhakti they did in the copper age, we don't have it here now. They're very, very sincere, very focused, and only one. They didn't have many, only one God, like that they would do here. So when all these ones, when they entered here, all these ones had to come down, no? When they entered here, they could not call themselves deities, because divine qualities were not there anymore. It was not there. It didn't exist only. And because these divine qualities were not there, they felt ashamed to call themselves deities. They only appreciated and praised the deities who were their ancestors. So they started calling themselves Hindus. That's exactly why Hinduism is not a religion. Deity religion. What is the religion? Original, eternal, Adi, Sanatan, Devi, Devta, Dharmam. This is our religion actually. But because we don't have those qualities within us, we started calling ourselves Hindus. Now, if somebody lives in America, if you ask them, what is your religion? They will say Christianity. They will not say Americanism, no? No, they will not say Americanism, because that is a geographical area with which they live in. So they are Americans. But here what has happened is that we live in Hindustan, so we call ourselves Hindus. So this is not the name of a religion, it's a name of a geographical area within which you live. This is the country that you live. That is why there's a very old song, Sare Jahan Se Acha, Hindu Sita Hamara. So in that song, if you see, everybody, there are Muslims who are singing that song, the Christians are singing that song. They all say, Hindi hai hum, Hindi hai hum. They all sing that song, which means to say, they're saying we are all Hindus. That is, we all belong to Hindustan. So Hinduism is not a religion. That's exactly why. If you ask a Christian, they will tell you when Christ came in Jerusalem and so date, BC, AC, AD, whatever. If you ask a Muslim, he will tell Prophet Muhammad came at what time. But if you ask a Hindu, he will not be able to tell you, because Hinduism is not a religion and there is no origin for it. The origin is a way of life here. That is the original deity religion. It emerges from here. So if you worship Buddha, you're a Buddhist. If you worship Christ, you're a Christian. If you worship a deity, yours is a deity religion. Okay? So I will not go into details of what happened here, because I've already mentioned yesterday. This is what is happening in between. Right here, in what followed from this, from the silver period onwards, what has happened, golden, silver, and copper, iron, all the blind faith and everything is increasing. Even now it is increasing. Now the thing is, when this kind of a little bit of diversion began from the understanding about God, and it moved towards, other different forms of God, that is when the first branch came. You see this branch here? This starts in the beginning of Copper Age. So this particular branch, if you see, this branch also goes to the 4 periods, like how the whole cycle goes through 4 periods: golden, silver, copper, iron. How it goes to the 4 periods. Same way, every branch, if you see, goes through these 4 periods. So each branch represents one religion. This is of Judaism. Judaism is what we understand as Jews, Israel. The Jews are there in Israel. So they follow Judaism, the teachings of prophet, that is Abraham. So if you see this branch, when he came, he spoke about, how God is one. He said, you cannot have, so many gods. You can only have one God, because already the worshipping of deities and all has begun here. His father, Abraham's father, was a idol maker. He used to make idols. That was his job. So he would ask his father, if it would break, then the father would say, oh my God, it is not able to stand on its own because it is broken. So he would say, if it is broken, it is not able to stand on its own, what support would this idol give to anybody? Like that, he would question. So he was known for the beginning with questioning his father, because he felt God is one and he cannot be so many deities. So he had to give this information because it was a need of the hour, because there is this diversions going on. There's so many different gods concepts were started already. So he had to come and give the concept that God is one. You cannot have many gods. So he came and gave the message, but this message did not get transferred here so much. But it started creating his own branch, that is Judaism, Jews. Now, after Abraham came Buddha. About 100 years after him came Buddha, that is in India only. When he came, he had a lot of questions. Why there is disease, why there is suffering, why people go through so much, and why, there is death and all that. He had a lot of questions. So he started Buddhism. But when he was there, it was not called Buddhism. He said, Ahimsa Parmo Dharmaha. That is, he said, non-violence is the greatest religion. He didn't say Buddhism is the greatest religion. He again very clearly is talking about how this quality of a human being is considered to be the greatest religion. The religion is something that you apply. So he spoke about non-violence as a religion. He came at a point of time that people were doing a lot of bhakti. They would build temples. They would make so many things and, worshipping God, but they would go wage wars and kill people. So he said, what is the point of, doing so much bhakti and building temples and then going and killing people? It doesn't make sense. So he said, non-violence is the greatest religion. So non-violence, even in defense, you should not have violence. That is what he preached through this branch of his. This is the Buddhism branch. So because that was a need of the hour and he had to come and give that message. That's why he didn't talk about God much, because already too much of God consciousness, God concepts were there already. So he did not speak about God. Now, after he only spoke about a practical application, that is eightfold paths and all that, what you need to bring into life and all. After Buddha came Jesus Christ. Probably about 150 years after Buddha, he came. And when all of them came in the Copper Age. So when he came, his branch started. He came at a time where a son could kill his own father to sit on the throne. It was that bad conditions when he came. So he gave the knowledge about love. He said, God is love. He said, love thy neighbor, love thyself, good wishes, mercy. All these things coming out of love. So his whole religion is the foundation. Like here, the foundation is non-violence. Here, the foundation has been love. So the whole religion stands on love. So that is the helping the poor, helping the needy, and also mercy and good wishes and all that. So this whole religion he established because that was a need of the hour. He came at that time. After him, probably another almost 100 years later, came Shankaracharya in India. Shankaracharya, when he came, there were no systems and customs, and there was no boundaries, no fixed discipline in so-called Hinduism. Because Hinduism not a religion, and there is nobody guiding that religion to anywhere. Because nobody knows who founded it, when it started, because nobody founded it and nobody started it. So it was an automatic continuation, it was. So the thing is, he became the instrument to give some sort of direction and system to this so-called Hinduism. He said, he said, without tapasya, that is, without purity and renunciation, you cannot come close to God. So he said there has to be some sort of a system in your worship also and everything. So he said the first thing what you have to do is you have to have education. That is brahmacharya. That is you have to be celibate when you're studying. So you have to go into the jungle, stay with the Guruji and study all the Rajvidya. That you should study everything. And then you come back to the kingdom rule that is called grahastha. That is you follow the household path of marrying, having children. And then when you become 60, you should say bye bye to the kingdom, and then that is, you go back to the jungle where you were there before, and you go to the Guruji and you do spiritual endeavor. That is, you have to remember God and everything. That is called vanaprastha. That is, you go beyond words. Vani prastha. That is, there is no words. 1 minute. So this is Vanaprastha. So this is a system that he created, and he was known for renunciation, where he would go from village to village barefoot with one umbrella. So he is what you call is a foundation for all renunciation. So he established a sannyasi dharma. He established the sannyasi religion here at this point of time. So he was the one who gave some direction. Now, after this, Shankaracharya came what you call as a Prophet Muhammad. If you can see, you can show his, you can't show his face because that is the improvisation Prophet Muhammad did. He said, please don't take my painting, don't do, take out my painting. Nobody should know how I look, because he already saw what had happened to Christianity, where people were worshipping Christ, leaving the concept of what he spoke about God. They started worshipping the one who's a religious founder. So he said my photo should not be there, so that they can connect to Allah directly, and I should not be there in between. So we do not know how he looks like. So his branch started here. When he came, there was lot of war and peacelessness, and there was no discipline, because there was lot of money and lot of war here. Lot of wars are going on, and lot of what you call as uh, lack of discipline, was a lot of money. So eat, drink, marry, this is the concept that they had here. So most of the artwork or anything antiques that you get from this Middle East side, in those days you would see jugs and everything, very prettily engraved jugs, but the paintings on those jugs will be mostly of men sitting back and a woman giving them wine and grapes and things like that. So the thing is, the whole concept is about a hedonistic way of living, totally nothing of altruism, always eating, drinking. So he introduced discipline. Prophet Muhammad, he said 5 times namaz, 1 month not to eat, and then you know how you need to have a kind of an exercise system where you sit and bend and stand and everything. He introduced all that here because that was needed. That was very much needed. So the thing is, the religion's foundation is that of discipline and peace. So he spoke about peace and how you have to have that peace and how you should have discipline in your life. So that is what this particular Prophet Muhammad, Islam was all about. Then in the last, after the whole cooperation, only one religion was established in this Kali Yuga. And that is, if you can see, that is Guru Nanak. That is Sikhism. So Guru Nanak Ji's the Sikhism is like that he spoke about power. If you see near Guru Granth Sahib, the whole book, there is a sword which is kept there. The sword does not represent any violence. It means to say that when you have all the knowledge in the world, but you don't have strength, it is useless. Like if you have a sword, but there is no sharpness to the sword, then it is pointless. So that is why he showed the symbol of the sword, saying that your sword has to be sharp. That is, your knowledge has to have power in it. That's what he meant. So to be in Kali Yuga, to live in Kali Yuga, you need lot of strength. So that is why his whole religion stands upon what you call as strength. That is soul power. Now let us see what has happened to all the religions now. Okay. If you see here, why don't we just disconnect and come back now? Oh, okay. So if you see here, what happened to all the religions I was talking about? So when you come to this Abraham, that is Jew religion, Judaism, when he came and he spoke about this knowledge, whatever his disciples followed, see, when he is there, it is a golden period for that religion. Then when he leaves the body, it is a silver period for the religion. So all his disciples follow it accurately. And then the copper period of the religion, at the end of it, there is split. You see the split? So his religion split into Christianity and Islam. So people who were Jews became Christians and Muslims also. So they had the fallout, like they were in disagreement with him, in the sense that the story goes like this, that angel Gabriel came and gave a vision to Moses. Moses is one of his disciples. He had a vision where she said there is going to be a prophet who is coming, and the prophet will change the world. So that is a prophecy that Moses had, and that was what prophet this one Abraham spoke about. What Christians believe is that the prophet is Christ. What Muslims believe is that the prophet is Prophet Muhammad himself is the prophet. He is the one who will change the world. And this Judaism, the ones who are Abraham's disciples, followers of Jews, they believe the prophet is yet to come. So they do not believe them. So that's why they keep fighting the Muslims and Jews, Israel and Iraq and all that. They keep fighting because they believe that he's yet to come. And so the thing is, Abraham is believed by Christianity and Islam. Both of them believe in him. They have no problem with Abraham. That is where the very first chapter of Bible, the very first chapter of Islam, they mention about Abraham. The first chapter is about him only, Abraham. That is why in both the religions, they keep their names as Abraham, Ibrahim. You must have noticed. In Muslims, they keep the name Ibrahim, and in Christianity, they keep the name Abraham. So they do believe in Abraham, but they do not think, they think that they are the prophets. But here they're still waiting. Okay, so there is what has happened now. Christianity, when it comes to, again, the golden period, it was wonderful, and then the silver period after he left. The silver period was the followers. That is a new what is that commandment? The 10 commandments, the new commandments, and all that. So then the copper period, when it came, it split. It split into Catholics and Protestants. They amongst themselves, they started fighting. The very foundation is that of love. It's all about love. And in that religion only, they fought amongst themselves, and the love is lost. Because what has happened is that Catholics have a disciplined, what you call as a disciplined religion. It is because you have priest, you have nuns, you have Vatican, you have Pope, and there's a lot of hierarchy, and there is a system there. very um, conservative it is. Catholics. But people got wary of this Catholic way of living, where they started instructing others and punishing and calling them sinners. So people who protested against the church are called Protestants. These Protestants will, they have the freedom to go and speak the Bible. Anybody has a freedom to speak the Bible, not just the priest. So they are pastors in uh, this Protestants. They are pastors and they are priests in Catholics. Without a church also the pastor can function. He'll make his own church. You don't need a Vatican to approve of it, all that. So the Miracle Net and God Net and all the TV channels are all Protestants. These Catholics don't come onto the TV and propagate. Now within these splits, if you notice, there are further splits are there. See the further splits, that is within Protestants there is Methodist, Baptist, Lutheran, Pentecost, and so on and so forth. And even in Catholics, if you see, there are many more, Russian Orthodox, and so on and so forth. So even in those also, there are further small tweaks have created where they have split from the original and they've gone into Jehovah Witness, born again Christians, and so on and so forth. So the thing is, there are too many divisions have formed. Nobody will go to the other one. The Baptist will never go to a Methodist church. So this is how it is. So this, when he spoke about love and unity and everything, in that very religion, there are too many splits have formed now. Now, if you come to Prophet Muhammad, that is Islam, he spoke about discipline. But discipline is there, fine, but then there is more of a stubbornness has come, the extremity of it. That is, when he spoke about, let me put this for 2 minutes and I will explain. Oh, I'm only half of me is visible. So what had happened with Prophet Muhammad is that there were a lot of people going into war and dying. So then and a lot of women are not married because the men population was less and women population was more in that area. So they came up to him, and because he was giving directions at that point of time, so they asked him what to do. So he said that, that people who are already married but they're very well off, they can afford to take more women. He requested them that how about giving your name and getting married to some women who need security, and give them a house to live in, and how many ever women you can take care of, you can adopt them and make them your wives and give them a house and everything. And so, but then you should not have children through them. You should not be like that with them. You have your wife, you have your children, you live with them. You should never have that kind of a drishti towards them. So if you want to go and inquire about their well-being, if you go to their house, then they should be in parda system, so that you do not get attracted to them. So he gave the parda system. That is the reason why the burqa and the parda system started for them. That you should not, the man who has married you should not be attracted to you. So if you find a young man who's very good and is marriageable age, you want one of those people, one of those girls to be married, then the talaq system, that is the divorce system, should be quick and easy, so that you divorce fast and get that boy married to this one of the women that you have adopted. So they would say talaq, 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 and get that boy and get the girl married. This is your responsibility. And they would do it just like that exactly. They would never ever, look at those women in any way. And everybody in the society knew that these women are there and they are marriageable. But they are under the canopy of that man. That's what they understood. But now what has happened, whatever Prophet Muhammad has spoken, it's totally misinterpreted, misguided. And now they say you can marry 10 women also. And all the women, even though they married or not married, all have to wear burqa and everything. Even the women also believe that concept and they do it. They think, oh, this is a part of the religion, they think, but there's no meaning in it. Okay. He also spoke about jihad. He said anything that goes against religion, you should kill it. But then what did he mean by that is what we have to understand. Naturally what I've spoken, religion is what you apply in your life. That is what Prophet Muhammad was referring to. He said, what is your religion? Peace, love, happiness. Anything that goes against that religion, hatred, jealousy, kill it. He didn't say kill Hinduism and Christianity. He said kill what is against your religion, that is of love, peace, and happiness. That is all that sorrow, hatred, jealousy, kill it. That is called the holy war. Because this is to become holy, you have to kill all the viciousness within you. That's what it means. But then they literally take it into, going and killing people. So the thing is, the whole religion stands on peace. And that very religion has created peacelessness. So the meaning of the religion is lost. What Prophet Muhammad's vision was and what he wanted, that is totally lost. So the religion lost its meaning. And when it lost its meaning, it had splits also. If you see here, Prophet Muhammad's religion also has splits, small splits. Shias and Sunnis, they split into that. They fight amongst themselves. So the Shias are very few. They are only in Iran, mostly. There must be 20% of the whole population of the world are Shias. The rest are all Sunnis. Now, Sunnis and Shias, why they fight? I don't know if you know about it, but I will just tell you. Because the thing is, the one who has to be a descendant for Prophet Muhammad, they were looking for. Who would be the descendant? Shias thought it should be the grandson because it has the same bloodline. He was a baby then. But Sunnis thought it should be the nephew because he was old enough and already he had a grip over whatever it was going on. So he had a grip. So they said it should be the nephew. So Sunnis, the few people disagreed. They said, no, the grandson, the same bloodline, something like that. So they fought amongst themselves. So what the Sunnis did, they killed every baby in the town, in the city, who must be the same because they hid the grandson. So they killed every child which is of that same age and all small children. So that is why they have that conflict amongst themselves. And so that is why only Shias have this, particular day of mourning called Muharram. But Sunnis don't have Muharram because they don't suffer the loss. But the Shias have lost the child, the grandson. So they mourn the loss of the grandson, and the grandson's name was Hussein. So they all on Muharram day, they will beat themselves like that and say, hi Hussein, is over the little child, how he was killed, and they will all cry. So that is how these two fight, Shias and Sunnis. Shias are relatively quite peaceful people. Okay, you got it? We can't generalize somebody is peaceful or not peaceless. We cannot say, but I'm just telling because there are very few. Naturally, you can't have a whole terrorism setup. They can't do. They're more blended. These Shias are more blended. They marry Hindus also, Christians also like that. They're blended. It's like that. Okay, now this Islam is over. Now we'll come to Buddhism. Yeah, Buddhism. He said non-violence is the religion. Buddhism means only non-violence. He spoke about non-violence. Whole religion is based on non-violence. You will be surprised. You will be really surprised to see all the Buddhist monks eat non-vegetarian. See, if it comes from any other religion, if Christians are eating non-veg, nobody will say anything because their concept is love, whatever it is. But here it is only talking about non-violence. Even in defense, you should not be violent. From such a religion, monks, all of them eat non-vegetarian because it is a violence, not to kill animals. It's a violence. Like Jains, they follow very accurately. They also believe in non-violence and they never eat. But here it's like they all eat non-vegetarian. And there's somebody in America, there's a beautiful monastery there, the Buddhist temple. So we had a program that we went there, and there was one lady called Inoka. She's from Sri Lanka. She's a Sinhalese, and she follows Sinhalese follow Buddhism. So she said, I would like to come and meet you and learn meditation. So after she learned meditation, she said, where should I practice it? I need a place to practice every day. So there was no center in that city. So for me to recommend the center there and the meditation room there. So I was telling, what about the monastery? It's quite close to your house and it's a nice, beautiful, peaceful place and you can meditate there. No. So she said, no, I don't want to go there. I said, why you don't want to go there? What's the problem? She said, sister, I'm very much disappointed because all the monks are eating non-vegetarian and I don't like it. So majority of the monks eat non-vegetarian. So the very meaning of what Buddha spoke is not respected. He said non-violence, non-violence, and from that religion only emerged all the different arts: karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, then taekwondo. Everything comes from that religion because it could have come from somewhere. But here they're talking about how to attack others only. They're teaching. I'm not saying right or wrong about it, but the thing is, he said even in defense you should not be violent. Non-violence is your religion. So Buddhism lost its meaning, totally meaning. Opposite is only emerged from it. Now, if you come to Shankaracharya's sannyasi dharmam, what has happened to the sannyas dharmam? That is the path of isolation. Yet so much renunciation, so much purity with which he lived. From one village to one village, he would walk. Like that he was. But what has happened to the religion is most contaminated, I can't tell you. Nobody is in the jungle, no sannyasis in the jungle eating herbs and all. All are in the city and making their own palaces. Why? Because there's no renunciation. Every other person will say, I'm a great monk and I want to give lectures now. So the thing is, let me tell you, we had a religious conference in Mount Abu. So we had one Guruji, Mathadipati, is like a head of Math. So he had come. A lot of people had come. So I was talking to a sister from Banaras and I said, is it difficult to call these sannyasis to Mount Abu? So she said, no, they would very comfortably, they'll say, yes, they want to come. I said, but it's in some other ways, it's very difficult. I said, in what way? So the sister said that, when we give an invitation, they'll immediately say, okay, I will come in and speak on that forum. But then they'll ask, whom all did you call? So when the sister mentions that I call this mutt Adipati, this mutt, that mutt, then they will say, then I don't want to come. Why did you go to them first and not me first? That means you want them first, then take them only first. They're not happy. One Guruji had come to Mount Abu and the disciple, what do you call a secretary or somebody? He said, you should wash his feet with rose water in a silver plate as soon as he enters your campus. So at that time, our Dadiji, who headed the organization, 84-year-old, so she went with that jug full of rose water to wash his feet. And he placed his feet in the silver plate. When Dadiji went, he said, no, you should not do it. You're a pure lady. So then Dadi called, one of us, like younger sisters. When they went, he said, no, all the white-sided people are pure. None of you should wash my feet. All these colored dresses, all these people who had come from a home, who live in their home, and they're all, they've come as sevadaris and all that. So he said, call them, they can wash my feet. So Dadi stood there and said, they are as pure as us. How can God discriminate now in any way? So why should a human being discriminate? So no, they are also as pure, that. So they said, no problem. He put the rose water on himself and he walked in. So the thing is, there is a lot of different ways of, considering yourself to be great, because in front of God, we should be very humble. We are all his children, whether you are sadhu, santa, whatever you are, but you are a child of God. Only God is to be praised. No human being can be praised like that. You should not expect also. Now what has become this money-making machinery has happened. So the other day, about 3 years ago, I got a call from somebody. That's one sannyasi had come in town and his wife believes in the sannyasi. So they called him home and they gave him 5 lakh rupees. They had put some program they kept in their lawn and they gave him with a lot of love. They gave 5 lakh rupees. Now the next, in just about next month, then they got a call. The husband got a call and they said that we are coming to your house. Just like that we are coming. And he's in such a tax that, what is it, April time? You have to, give your tax. Huh? Audit is going on. He's very busy. And financially also, he's been having a hard time. And then they say, we are coming. You organize. They said, no. He said, no, I cannot. At this point of no. His wife also said, no, I'm not keeping well. I cannot. But they insisted. Because, and then the person who was a mediator said, the thing is, they're building one ashram there. So they need money. See, when money is mentioned, that means there is nothing called God there. God is your father, isn't it? God is your father. Why would he take money from you? Isn't it? So, so the sannyasi, how Shankaracharya was, nothing is there now. Maybe some people have some good qualities and everything, but you cannot consider human being to be God, no? They have good qualities. Uh, they have very good social service also they must be doing, but you don't get strength from them. So now what is happening is sannyasi dharma has lost its meaning. And lastly, if you see Guru Nanak, they all think it is physical power, not soul power. So they go into army and they go into sports and everything in those days because they thought that is all about physical power. But no, that is spiritual power is what Guru Nanak spoke. Now, if you see the whole of these religions, they stand in a state of decay. There is no meaning in any of these religions, none whatsoever. The deity religion, which was the original religion, it has turned into Hinduism. There is no divinity at all. All devilish qualities have remained. Some few qualities are there, but the rest is all lost its meaning. So it is that is why it is said yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavatu bharata. When the whole Bharat there is irreligiousness, all the religions have lost its meaning. Then again the whole sapling has to be sown. That is, everyone has to go back to the seed. Everyone has to go back. Because Prophet Muhammad, Jesus Christ, Shankaracharya, and all these people, all the religious founders are his children, because he is the father of all religions. So we have to go back to the seed. So this is the expansion of the whole tree, isn't it? I was traveling somewhere and I had somebody who was evangelist. Evangelists are someone who converts others into Christians. So I met somebody who was on the flight in America, and he was talking about Christianity, and he said, if you don't believe in Christ, you will burn to hell and everything. I was just listening through because that is what they believe. No, we have to respect others' beliefs. See, this Kalpa tree helps us to understand each one started with a good meaning, good purpose. What it had turned out to be is something different. So then he said, so what do you want? Do you love Jesus? I said, I love Jesus a lot. So he said, why do you love Jesus? I said, because he loved my father so much. He said, your father? Who is your father? God. God is the father. And he loved my father so much. So he's like my big brother only. So he said, no, he's the only son of God. Then I thought, who am I then? I'm a stepson or what? No, it doesn't make sense anyway. But then I said, God is one. We are all his children. There's some who are evolved, like Jesus Christ and Prophet Muhammad and all. They are little evolved. They are the ones who established religions. But then God is one, and he's the father of all of us, including Jesus Christ and everybody. That is my understanding. I said. So we got off the plane, and he called me back when I was just getting off. I had to go to another gate to catch a plane to another city. So he called me back and he said, sister, you seem to be in universal plane, he said. I said, yeah, okay, I am. And I'm in my specific path, he said. Yeah, you are in a specific path. I said, we were all on a specific path. Whatever what parents are taught, we did. So then he said, to get to the universal plane is going to take a while for me. I said, take your time. Each one takes their own time. But eventually you have to come to that universal understanding, not be stuck with one narrow view of one thing and only believe in that. No, you have to understand God is unlimited. He's the father of all religions. Okay, so this is today.